Car Con Carne is sponsored by Exploding House Printing. Bands, brands, listeners who want to get the word out, Exploding House Printing can help you with your screen printing, embroidery, and other merch needs. Exploding House delivers production efficiency and cost awareness to offer boutique print shop quality at much lower large print shop prices. Check out their work on Instagram at Exploding House or go to their website or just email info@explodinghouseprinting.com to get a quote.
It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
Hello and welcome to Car Con Carne. I'm your guest host, Jacques LaMore. Some may know me as Jacques LaMore. I'm so honored to be here with you all while James Van Alstyne is out on medical leave. I hope you know, James, we've all been thinking of you and wishing you a speedy recovery. You know, when a powerhouse of a Chicago talent like JVO approaches you and asks you to guest host his podcast, you do it. No questions asked. And I feel so lucky to know such a kind, funny, and talented guy like James. So thank you, James, for letting me be here. So for about 5 years or so, I was the host of a podcast called Pop Punk and Pizza. And that's where James and I's paths kind of crossed. We were both doing similar things. He was eating in his car and interviewing guests. I was having guests on and we were eating pizza together, talking about punk-oriented music and more. So that's kind of we had a lot of similarities in our shows. And during my time hosting that show, one of my friends from the Chicago area that I would have on frequently on Pop Punk and Pizza, and he's been a guest on this podcast as well, is Kevin Andrew, who's the lead vocalist of Guardrail. And since leaving Pop Punk and Pizza around 2022, I haven't been heavily involved in the pop punk music scene in general, not just in Chicago, but just overall, because I've been busy doing other things. And so when James reached out to me about being on CCC, Kevin was one of the first people I thought of that I could have on as a guest. And I just thought it'd be great to be able to catch up with someone from the scene that I still love. And of course, I still love the scene to this day. So I want to give a warm welcome to Kevin Andrew of Guardrail. Welcome, buddy.
What's up, dude?
It's good to see you.
Likewise, man. It's been too long. You live too far away.
I do live
closer to me for my convenience.
Right. I know. I wish. And that's always the funny thing with most of the guests that were on Pop Punk and Pizza. They were primarily from the suburbs of Chicago or the city itself. And I'm like, yeah, I live in Bradley, Illinois, or I live in Kankakee, or I live in Manteno. Sometimes they would know where that is, and their first reaction is like, wow, you're really far. And then the other reaction would be like, I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
So,
if I ever like brought up where you live to anybody, they'd be like, where's Manteno? I'm like,
right.
Where Kankakee is? And they're like, kind of. I'm like, well, it's over that direction.
Right. Yeah. And so that would be the common thing. But I think one time, and maybe it was one of the last times we talked on a podcast together. I think you guys actually came to my house, didn't you? Didn't you one time come down here?
At least once I've come out to your place. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a hike, but
yeah. Right. That's
it was worth the journey.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, I would hope it was worth the journey. Anyway, it's just great to see you and catch up with you. You just got married, so congratulations. That happened just this year, right?
It was on Halloween.
Oh, of course it was. And you probably played the Blink song, right? Or no?
We, I mean, everyone that when I say like, oh, we got married on Halloween, they're like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
because we got tattooed during our ceremony. We got a little bat with a 31.
Oh, of the bunny, the Blink bunny. That's awesome.
So, but yeah, so it was cool. It was a blast. It was very DIY, and we were just happy that all our hard work paid off. Mostly my wife Larissa. It was mostly a lot more of her work than mine, but yeah, yeah, it was just a lot of hard work, and glad it paid off, and we had a great time. So
Well, congratulations to you and Larissa. That's awesome, man.
thanks, man.
So Guardrail is known as, not as pop punk actually, as diet punk, as you guys like to call yourselves.
Yes.
Which I've always loved about the band. The band just turned, is it 11, 12, 10? I think it's 12. Almost.
11
Almost
and a
12.
half. 11
Okay.
and a half.
Okay,
We actually,
yes.
you played the very first Guardrail show ever.
And that was
bass.
2014, right?
2014, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we're
it
not
was
quite
It
to
was
12.
summer. It was summer. So yeah, about half a year. I remember it was 7/11. It was July 11th.
Yes,
So
that's right.
I remember after that show going out for my buddy's birthday, and that was his birthday. It was 7/11. So it was my friend's 21st birthday. So he was like super stoked that. So it was like, well, I can't miss your 21st birthday. So we played this show. It was with Patent Pending
Yep.
at Penny Road Pub. That's a lot of P words.
And yeah, a lot of P's, just like pop punk and pizza.
Yeah, can't escape the P, dude. But yeah, we had a bass player for one practice. Was a guy that Ken and I went to junior high with, named Jesse, and he was super stoked on it. But he's a nurse, and his hours were crazy, and he made it to one practice, and then we had the show booked, and I was like, Jesse, I know you know that we love you, but we got a show to get prepared for, and you've been to one practice, and I think we're gonna go with someone else. He's like, that's totally understandable. So we're still friends. I barely get to see him because of his job. He's like a traveling nurse now and stuff. I was like actually
they
saving
get
lives.
paid really well.
Yeah. So he's like never in town. He came to a Guardrail show like 2 years ago. I think that was like the last time I seen him.
Was he also a Ken
no,
or a Kevin?
No, there's
wasn't.
a lot of other Kevins that were.
Yes.
I think there's like been 4 Kevins in Guardrail.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate.
It's too much.
It
But,
should have been like the I don't know if they're still around, but you remember ever hearing that cover band called Five Guys Named Mo?
I don't know if that rings a bell, but
No,
that's
yeah,
hilarious.
they played a lot around in the Chicago area. Maybe it was more in like the south suburbs.
Okay.
And they were called Five Guys Named Mo. So it should be Five Guys Named Kevin. You know.
Well, before Guardrail, Ken and I were in a band called Save Yourself, and at first that band was 4 guys, and it was Kevin, and Ken, which is like almost Kevin.
Yeah,
Just 2 letters off. So,
I remember that. We played shows together.
Mm-hmm.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Wild, man.
Those wild times. Yeah, that was like 2011, 2012, something like that.
Yeah.
So wild times. And Ken and I have been playing music together since we were in high school. And I was talking with him the other day that next month, we couldn't remember the exact date. Remember, it was somewhere in the middle of January. But next month will be 20 years since the first show he and I ever played together.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
20
old
years
dudes.
already.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah, we were 16. We played in a little gymnasium. There's a basketball hoop above us.
Was it like a high school talent show?
No, but it was just like some local, shitty bands playing in a gym, and first time I had ever performed music in front of anybody.
Was it
and
covers, or did you guys write something?
It was mostly originals. I do remember that we covered "When I Come Around" by Green Day.
Yes.
And then we sang "Happy Birthday" to a friend of ours. I remember.
Beatles
like-
style, or just whatever?
We just tried to be funny with it. I remember we were like, we did it once. We just like did "Happy Birthday to You" kind of thing, and then we just like slowed it down and we're like, "Happy Birthday!" Like we tried to like metal it or something. But we're like 16-year-old kids. I had no idea what the hell we were doing.
Right.
But
you're just gonna wing it.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what the exact date was. The only pictures we found didn't have dates on them. This was pre-Facebook and stuff like that. So
Maybe
2000
MySpace era.
Yeah, I think we definitely were on MySpace, but MySpace is just like gone now. So
Pretty
it's
much.
not like we could go back to our old MySpace page. That shit's all gone. So
Is MySpace completely shut down? I at this point?
As far as I know,
Okay.
I do know that they like a few years ago there was like some sort of like data breach or error or some shit like that, where just every photo that was ever uploaded to MySpace's servers was just deleted. So that's just gone. So even if MySpace was still around, all those photos and stuff would have been gone anyway.
Right, and
So,
that's what we all would want to go back to grab anyway. At least I know that's what I was doing once in a while. In fact, I still get emails from PhotoBucket saying, "Hey, if you want those photos,
that's nuts.
yeah." And they keep saying, "We're going to delete your account. We're going to delete your account," but they still, I don't think they've actually deleted my account. They just keep threatening to do it. It's almost like they just keep doing it in hopes that I will log in, sign up for whatever new promotion they have, and
That's funny.
yeah. So it's just interesting to watch how they're marketing themselves these days in 2025.
Man, PhotoBucket's just so obsessed with me.
I mean, honestly, there's probably photos on there that I don't want anyone to see. So, but maybe they've finally deleted them by now, which I think I would be fine with at this point. So
there are photos, a couple photos from the first show that we ever played on our Facebook that like Ken had uploaded to Facebook after he finally got a Facebook. Like, here's a bunch of old photos from the last like couple years. So there are photos of it that are in my tagged photos on my Facebook. So I was able to find them and actually be like, look at baby Kevin. He's so small and skinny. And I was wearing like baggy jeans and a size probably youth large, Less Than Jake t-shirt. I do remember
awesome.
that. I didn't even own my own bass yet. I'd been playing bass for like, I had a guitar, but I'd been playing bass for like 3 weeks maybe. I just joined the band because I was like, they started the band, played one kind of other shitty show that was in like a church basement or something like that, and that was it. And then the bass player and drummer quit, and my friend Scott and he played drums, I played guitar, but I was like, I can play bass, I could figure that out. So
is that the same Scott from Save Yourself?
No,
different
Scott. This guy I went to preschool with. We went way back, but he like found Jesus and kind of fell off the face of the earth, is kind of as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. He was very like.
That's what happens when you find Jesus. You just fall off the face of the earth.
He kept like trying to get me to come like pray with him in the woods, and I'm like, that sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
Are you sure you're praising Jesus?
Yeah, I'm going to be sacrificed.
You sure this isn't something else? Because it kind of sounds like it could be the opposite of Jesus.
Yeah.
At this point.
I don't know. He like, I've seen he's like a Trump supporter, and he was kind of one of those like, Blue Lives Matter kind of guys. And I was like, like, what happened to you, man? But
yeah,
it's fine.
If anyone listens to Guardrail music, you'll hear definitely a number of songs against Trump policies and such.
Yeah, we have at least two.
Yeah.
The one we had to bring back, we put it out in 2016 when he got elected the first time.
And then you put it back out again.
Yeah, the song's called You're Fired. And it's mostly like, I'm not a very like just like fuck you kind of guy. I'm more of like a, hey, let's like get through this. And I thought we got through this, but here we are again, and it's even worse.
Back.
So it's like, I keep saying we've been playing it at our shows, and I have to be like, all right, well, before we play the song, I just want to say a couple quick things. Fuck Trump, fuck fascism, fuck genocide, fuck homophobia, fuck ICE, I gotta just name all these things. Fuck this, fuck that. And then after the song, I go like, we wrote this in 2016. Basically, the night Trump got elected the first time, I drank half a bottle of whiskey and just wrote a bunch of angry things in my phone, just what I was feeling. And then I woke up the next morning hungover as shit, and Ken was like, yo, I was pissed off last night and I wrote a bunch of angry riffs. I'm like, dude, let's put a song together.
You're like, that's sort of what I did, except in word form.
Yeah. So
let's put these together. So
I always say when we play, I was like, man, we wrote that in 2016 and didn't think we'd have to ever play that again, but here we are. So
yeah. Well, luckily enough, you had that in your arsenal to bring out.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of songs, though, we should talk about your new single that just dropped in November called Heroes.
Yes.
And when you dropped that song, I was trying to remember if that's a song you've played live that I've seen. Is that a song you've had for a while?
No.
Because no, okay, because I was trying to figure out, because in the song you're talking about missing someone's funeral,
Hmm.
and I guess I was wondering, I'm like, well, whose funeral did he miss?
Yeah.
And I guess the first person I thought of was the girl that was behind the inspiration for Snuzfest, right? Or sort of behind the inspiration of Snuzfest. Am I thinking
Um,
of? I can't remember her name.
so it wasn't quite the inspiration behind Snooze but she was my friend Allison, who, um, when we decided to start making Snooze Fest like a charity, like a benefit thing. Um, I know that Allison's mom had started a nonprofit. I don't think she does it anymore, but it was just like to help people that are seeking
That's right. It was Allison
help.
Cares, right?
Yeah, Allison Cares. Her mom Jennifer put out, kind of started a little nonprofit because she didn't just go like, oh no, my daughter died. It was like her daughter overdosed in a like scam halfway house kind of thing. Um, so she like kicked ass and like got all those people involved with that arrested, and they're in prison now and shit. And she started a nonprofit that was like to help people seeking addiction recovery. Um, so she was kind of, it like was a personal thing to me. So I'd like, for a couple years before the pandemic, when she was still doing that, Snooze Fest benefited that. I just kind of reached out to her, and Allison was always in like PJ pants anyway. So it's kind of just like, it's kind of right up her alley. Um, but we did have a song called Jane that was kind of about me dealing with that in a sense, but also like the same, like within a year and a half of Allison passing, she was like kind of my first like friend that passed away. When you're growing up, it's like, oh, old relatives and stuff like that typically.
Right, because she was very
Hopefully,
young.
yeah, she was 25,
Yeah.
I believe, but she, that was the first like friend I ever had that passed away, and then a year and a half after that, I had several others pass away. Um, luckily for, I guess, luckily, quote unquote, is a weird way to say it, but it was like no one I was like super close to, so it didn't like fuck me up, but it fucked me up enough, to where I was like, damn, people I know are starting to die now, and um, so I wrote that song Jane, kind of about that. Allison's middle name was Jane, and I was kind of also thinking like, oh, Jane Doe, like everyone kind of has a Jane that they've lost, So that's why I wrote that song. But this one is,
So this comes from a completely different place then.
yeah. So the story behind this song is the music for it, the main structure and everything was a demo that I wrote in like 2017. Like it was just sitting in our Dropbox, just bare bones, just chord progressions and programmed drums. And Zach one day, our guitarist Zach, was just like scrolling through our Dropbox and just listening to things, and he just had an idea for like a guitar lead for that demo, and he just recorded over it and was like, yo, I did something in this old demo. And I was like, yo, I love it. I didn't really like the demo at first. I was like, this is fine, it's something, it's a jumping off point. And he jumped off, and he like really like threw there's a lot of crazy guitar leads in that song.
There is. Yeah, it's really filled out.
Yeah. So it like kind of revitalized that song, and it was matching the vibe of the lyrics I was trying to write, because I was trying to write this song because about 6 months apart from each other, I lost Drew Neely and my friend Robin, and so yeah, 6 months apart, I played 2 like tribute shows for dead friends, which sucked. I was like, we gotta quit meeting like this,
Yeah.
Um,
That might have been the last time I saw you in person. Was that because you were at that show for Drew, right? That
yeah,
benefit show?
Dave Gomez and I were the ones that like put that together.
That's what I
Um,
thought. Yeah.
and we put that together when Drew was just in the hospital, and it was supposed to be like a benefit show to help with his hospital bills. We
Right.
didn't even announce it yet. We were like about to announce it, and then he died. Like it was kind of sudden because he was in recovery. They were going to move him to I don't know how much of this is TMI, but he just like had a heart attack and died like before he could get to the rehab place.
You must have had a blood clot or something.
it was
That
he had like
he had a
uh
brain. He had some type of brain.
it was like a growth or something, and they got rid of
Yes.
that, and he was on the mend, and then he like had a heart attack, and that was it.
Yeah.
So we're like, so Dave and I were like, we got to still do this show, like in his honor, and so we did, and we just then that following October, um, my friend Robin passed away, and she was also young. She was only like 25, and um, she was in a band called Reject My Reality way back when she was like 14, 15, and I like kind of kept in touch with her, and like some of the dudes from that band, like I'm still in touch with to this day, like Eric Deebs. He's in Wilmette now, and I think one of the other guys is in Wilmette now too, and stuff. So it's like they've been around, and weird kind of small world thing is that Robin's sister Tyler is now in Guardrail.
Oh wow.
Weird, kind of just it just worked out that way because Alyssa and Doug, our bass player and drummer, um, about a year and a half ago, kind of decided that their time was up. Kind of, they're just they got just life things happen. There was zero bad blood. They still come to shows all the time. Doug played with us earlier this year in Montreal, and Alyssa's hopped in once for a show, but also just jumped on stage and sang songs with us and stuff. We went to her wedding in September, and
That's
um,
awesome.
and her family convinced her to have us get up and play a Guardrail song at the
That's
wedding,
great.
which was so funny because the song we did was our song Guilt Trip that she sings, and that song's about like her shitty ex-boyfriend, and she's like, well, I never thought this is a song I'd sing at a wedding, let alone my own wedding, wearing a
Oh my
wedding dress.
gosh.
But here we are, and
That's
like
so great.
her family were like moshing and stuff, just like her aunts and uncles and stuff. It was pretty hilarious.
I mean, if you're inviting Guardrail to a wedding, I would expect something like that to happen.
I know we were just like her one aunt whose dog is in our music video for Christmas with my dog. Um, I think her dog's like the first dog you see like ripping through wrapping paper rolls. Um, she like loves Guardrail, and she was just like, "Oh my God, this is the Guardrail table. This is so awesome. I'm your biggest fan." And like she took a picture with us afterwards and stuff. And she and Alyssa's sister were like the ones that were, I guess, convincing her like, "You gotta have Guardrail get up there." Um, it was just me and Ken and Doug, our old drummer. Zach was actually at a different wedding in Greece, so he was
Oh
out of town
gosh.
for that. Yeah. Um, so then all of a sudden I hear like, "Hey, Kevin, can you come here? You're being summoned." I'm like, "Did they convince her to do it? Did they convince her to do it?" I walk in, they're like, "They want us to play Guilt Trip." I'm like, "Let's do it." And like the wedding band that they had was just it was in a small town in the middle of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, so it was very they were limited in their options of their entertainment. So they had this like little wedding band that was all people in their like 50s and 60s that were playing kind of a little of everything, but it was mostly like older songs. And I at
Sure.
one point yelled Slayer, and the keyboardist was like, "Absolutely not." And I was like, "Oh, what?" Like, so we got up there, all their tones were trash, but we were just like, "It's fine."
That
And we
that
did
just
it.
makes it all the better, especially
Yeah,
for a wedding. Let's
I
just hope
know.
that that doesn't come back to like failure for their marriage, and then they come back to you and be like, Kevin, this is all your fault because we
Mm.
played Guilt Trip at my wedding, and now
I would say like if it was anyone else, I'd say maybe, but like Alyssa and Matt are just like made for each other, and
yeah, no, they're a
they're
sweet couple.
amazing. They're amazing people.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, then so anyways, a year and a half ago or so, it was like earlier 2024. Um, they both decided. So like Alyssa like got basically the job she went to go to college for. Um, and is now Ken also got hired at that company. So Alyssa's Ken's boss, I think. So that's kind of funny. So Ken's like, if I need a day off or something, Alyssa understands, like, you know, which is great. And then Doug he's got a kid and stuff, and he also at the time had a very demanding job.
And Ken has a kid too.
Yeah, she just turned one in September. So
Wow.
yeah, crazy times. But So we were thinking like, who could we get to replace these two? It's kind of hard to fill their shoes because they're both like, you know, great musicians and great like personalities. Um, and our first thought was Tyler because we were like, well, Tyler's kind of the Alyssa of Ghoul for a Goblin, like badass chick bass player slash backup singer. So I asked her, and she was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." It was like that easy. And we're like, "Well, damn, okay." So she just hopped in, and then just weird, like coincidentally, we didn't like plan it this way, but Heroes happened to just be the first new song that we had ready. We wanted to put out a song by the end of the year because we hadn't really put out anything actually new in a while. So just happened to be
Since
the first one.
2023, you had a full length record come out, which I completely forgot until I was prepping for our conversation, and I was like, I forgot I had a little part in this record.
Yeah, you did the intro. I kind of forgot. It just escaped my mind too. But yeah, we did a little No Effects parody in the intro.
And that was so awesome. I had completely forgotten about it, that it was on content. And
yeah,
I'm just
like, shit's on vinyl, bro.
Right, and it's on vinyl. Like I finally made it to vinyl, you know. I still need to get a copy of that. But
yeah, we got a few left. We're running low on those actually. So I'll set one aside for you.
Oh, thank you.
But but yeah, fucking because you had your son on that too.
And I was trying to remember because you hear two kids' voices, and it's been 2 or 3 years at best since that was recorded.
The other kid's voice was my friend Justin's daughter Gwen.
Okay, that's who it was. I was trying to figure out. I was like, I don't think I had two kids. I was like, I think it was just Owen.
Am I missing one?
You're right. That's what I kept thinking. I'm like, who is the other kid? And honestly, I did not even remember that the other kid came from you, that you had collected. I completely forgot about that part. But I blended their voices together, and it sounds like we're all in the same room when we weren't.
And it helps that you kind of put the filter on it and stuff in the same way that No Effects did on theirs. And for anyone wondering, it's the first song on the record. Seriously. And Justin was like my friend. He's still one of my best friends to this day. We met like this summer before high school.
What's Justin's last name? Because I feel like I know him.
Johnson. You've probably met him before.
Yeah.
Very tall man. He was like kind of my intro to like a lot of punk rock and emo, and like most importantly ska. He taught me about ska, and he loaned me so many CDs that I burned, and like old like Fall Out Boy and stuff like that. And then also just he was like, "You don't like know really what ska is?" And I was like, "Not really." I had an inkling. He's like Superman by Goldfinger from Tony Hawk. It's that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. So he's like, oh, I'm going to bring you CDs. So the next day he showed up to school with Less Than Jake, Real Big Fish, Save Ferris, Five Iron Frenzy, just a bunch of ska bands. And was like, here. And I just fell in love with that. And like now I have a Less Than Jake tattoo. And like,
That's awesome. I would love a Less Than Jake tattoo.
Yeah. I have it. It's on my wrist here. It's the MXPX guy, but he's holding the Less Than Jake little.
Oh, you got that one.
Guy.
That's so cool.
But
that's awesome.
But yeah, so he was one of my groomsmen in my wedding. So we were still like good friends. So I was just like, yo, does your daughter want to be in a punk rock album? Because his daughter also loves like the Aquabats and stuff.
Oh, of course.
I want to say she's like 10 now or something like that. 10 or 11. But so yeah, he recorded the little whatever part he needed for that and sent it to me, and I sent it to you, and there it was. So I was just like, dude, your daughter's on vinyl. That's cool as hell, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude,
yeah, I'll have to I'll have to remind Owen of that one day. Be like, hey, by the way, you're on a punk rock record.
Yeah.
It's just so cool to say, I think it is anyway. Maybe he won't think it's that cool. I mean, he loves music, but he's not really into punk. He's into pop. He loves pop music, but he's not really so much into punk rock, at least yet. So
how old is he now?
It could change. It could not. I don't know.
How old is he now?
He's 8.
He's 8. I
He's
kind of
about to be
figured it was around
9.
that 7, 8, 9, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was that age, I was also into pop. Like my first concert
Yes.
ever was the Backstreet Boys when I was
Right.
like 10. Um, and then, but because I was into Backstreet Boys, I saw like Blink on TRL
Right.
and was like, oh, I like this. And that kind of started my trajectory into punk rock was
Right.
seeing
Open the
Blink.
door.
That's why I'd say they're my favorite band, and they're still to this day my
Right.
favorite band because I'm like that was my intro to everything. So
Yeah.
they're my
Kind of
first.
open the door.
You never forget your first,
No.
but
That's what she
yeah,
said.
but yeah, I guess going back to the song,
Yeah. So
I,
going back
so,
to Heroes.
I sort of when I was writing the lyrics for I had like lyrics in mind already. So then when Zach had showed me kind of the revitalized demo, I was like, this actually fits the vibe because any like sad song, I don't want to make it be like we don't really have slow songs, and like I think our slowest song that we have is like our song Yikes, which is actually like very lyrically like positive and encouraging. So it's like a slow song about a friend dying just seems like cliche. And I'm like, nah, our friends would have wanted bangers. Drew Neely always said that he hated pop punk, but he loved Guardrail. He's like, you guys just do it right. Like he loved Bowling for Soup and stuff. Like he loved that
Yes.
kind of pop punk. Not
He
like
he liked power pop more than anything, and
Yes.
obviously his
That was
music
what he did, yeah.
reflected that too. And yeah, I could totally hear him saying that.
Mhm.
And I think, yeah, I definitely think he would have loved Heroes. And it's especially cool that it's called Heroes
Yeah.
because if you know Drew Neely, he for a long time had variations of whether it was Drew Neely and the Heroes was the name of his group, or
Mhm.
I think at one point it was just the Thrift Store Heroes, I think.
Yeah.
Or it was Drew Neely and the Thrift Store Heroes. There were several variations
Right.
of heroes associated with Drew Neely. So was
Yeah.
that done on purpose, or was it just Heroes because this is also like for Robin too?
So kind of, yeah. Actually, I have this hero tattoo on my
Oh.
hand for Drew. The week that he passed, I had a tattoo appointment already, and I was just like,
I guess I forgot about that.
I was like, yo, I just hit up the artist. I'm like, real quick at the beginning, can you just throw the word hero on me? Because he would give out little rubber bracelets, like the Livestrong bracelets that
Yep.
said hero on them, and he'd just be like, here you go, you're my hero. That was his thing. So now I have stickers, Guardrail stickers that say you're my hero that I've been passing out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just to keep that little trend alive. But when I was writing, I just wanted to, I sort of combined Drew and Robin into like one character that I was like writing to. And I put little nods to them in the lyrics. Like, I say, as high as the birds in the sky, bird, Robin,
Of course, that fits
and I say,
perfectly.
in the second verse, so the first line that Tyler sings is, you were the hero, I'd say. I just threw that word in there because of Drew. And then in the bridge, I say, I'm sorry I missed your funeral, but I got to sing our song in a Vegas hotel room. That was for Robin, because when she passed in October of a couple years ago, and it was the same year as When We Were Young, the first year of that.
Okay, When We Were Young Fest.
Yeah, so it was like the day before we left to go to Vegas was when she passed away, I'm pretty sure. And her funeral, I was like, okay, she just passed away, so I'm assuming her funeral will be like sometime next week. And then we got word that it was like that weekend. It would have been that day of When We Were Young, and I was like, damn. And I was like, well, her favorite band was Paramore. Paramore was playing that. Like, I'll just rock the fuck out to Paramore. I'll probably cry a lot. Like, it'll just be like a good way to like, do something to commemorate her to myself,
Sure.
But that was the year that When We Were Young got canceled that day because of the windstorm.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So I was like, well, fuck. So as soon as that got announced that it was canceled, I just started drinking. It was like 10 a.m. Which is 8 a.m. Chicago time. So that's crazy that I was drinking that early. But so then we just were like hanging out in Vegas. There's all these like displaced emo kids just wandering Vegas, just like, oh, we don't know what to do. And it was crazy wind. Like, we were seeing like things falling off of construction sites and shit. Like, it was bad. Like, they made the right call. But Shane from Silverstein like hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna just play songs in my hotel room for the like Patreon members of my podcast. Do you want to like come up and like quote unquote open for me?" And I was like, "I'm like 7 drinks deep, but like let's go." So I just immediately just like grabbed a water and was like, "All right, I got like 2 hours." I had no time to prepare or anything because I basically showed up to the hotel and he had like 30 or 40 people and he had like a suite, so it was nice. There was enough room for everybody, and there's just cases of alcohol in there, just like, "Here, help yourself, let's play." And he's like, "What tuning are you in?" I told him, and he tuned the guitar. He's like, "All right, whenever you're ready." I'm like, "All right, here we go." And I was kind of just picking things on the fly to play. And our one song on our first EP, "Sincerely Me," Robin does actually backup vocals on that. So I played that song in Shane's hotel room that day. That it was the day of her funeral. So and then I was like, "All right, everyone, to Robin," and we all like did a cheers, and we were like, "To Robin."
Yeah.
So that's where that all comes from in the bridge.
Okay.
So, so yeah, and then at the last line of the bridge is playing those 4 thrifty chords. Doesn't even make sense, but thrifty. I just had to throw that word in there. So
Thrifty, Drew Neely.
Yep.
What more can you say?
Exactly. So when we were trying to figure out what to name the song, we are just like, "What about Heroes?" We were just gonna say Hero, just because I don't say it plural, but we're like, "Nah, let's make it Heroes," and there it was. So
I think it's so cool that even through all the obstacles thrown your way for Robin's death and a way to try to commemorate her, you kept getting roadblocked with finding a way to commemorate her. And you just kept like, "Okay, well, that way didn't work. I'm going to try this way now to pay tribute to her." And I think that's really says something about you as a person and just as an artist as well.
Yeah. And it's crazy now that like Tyler's in our band too, because
knowing that it
Yeah.
makes the song so much better. Like I feel, because I liked the song before, but now it just it holds deeper meaning.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny too because Tyler was we were together last night, just like working on new stuff, and Tyler said she's a teacher. One of her students was just came across the song and was like, "Hey, Mrs. O, this is your new song is good." And she was like, I was awkward, didn't know what to say. And I was just like, "It's about my dead sister." And she's like, "Whoa."
"Oh, glad you like it. It's about my dead sister."
Exactly.
Like, oh, okay, way to bring the vibe down.
Right. And it's funny because I didn't realize at first because I met Tyler right after, like it was like 2020 or early 2022. I think I'd maybe briefly met her once or twice at Riot Fest because I would always bump into Robin at Riot Fest and she was always there with her mom and sister. And Robin and I went way back, and it was like, it would be too much to say that we were like, "Oh, she was like a sister to me," but it was almost like she was like a cousin to me. Like I was her like older cousin that she like talked to a lot about, asked advice from and stuff like that. And kind of I think she kind of just looked up to me in that way as sort of an like older figure because I was like 8 years older than her or something like that, because I was already like 22 or something when I met her, and she was like 14 or 15. Her whole band was, and it's cool that I'm still friends with Eric, who played guitar in Reject My Reality, and then now he's in Wilmette and Ghoul for a Goblin, which Ghoul is how I know Tyler.
Right.
Because Tyler was in that band. We played a show together in early 2022, and we met, and then I didn't even realize that day that she was Robin's sister until afterwards. I saw Robin post on Facebook, "Oh, my sister's band is playing this thing." It's like, oh, that makes I see it now, but I didn't see it at the time. I was like, that's crazy. And then like, unfortunately, just like later that year or something, was that 2022 when she passed? I think.
I think so, because that was the first When We Were Young Fest, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was like, so it was like, we were talking about this, and we're just like, it's weird to think about it this way, but it's almost like Tyler and I's friendship was kind of like an interesting like parting gift from Robin in a way. Like I don't know, she kind of brought us together because then we're just like, oh, you know my sister, sweet. So then we kind of became friends and started talking, and then she kind of was the me of Ghoul for a Goblin. She like books a lot of their shows and runs their social media. So we like kind of talked about that a lot. And we played a bunch of shows together. And then, so when I was like, you want to join Guardrail? She was like, hell yeah. I was like, well, sweet. And here we are. And then like, we just played, last month we played at House of Blues.
Yeah. With Lucky Boys Confusion.
With Lucky Boys, which was awesome. I think it might've been the biggest crowd we've played to, as Guardrail. It may have been tied with when we played with Enter Shikari at Concord Music Hall. I think that was about the same amount of people.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually LBC sells out House of Blues.
It was sold out before they even announced any of the support bands. And
oh, wow.
They announced the Bull Weevils first, and then we were originally supposed to play the MS Sucks show in October, and then Stubby just like emailed me and was like, hey, I need to talk to someone from the band. Here's my number. You'll be happy. I was like, okay.
That sounds just like Stubby. That's what he did. The little text, he just, hey, I need to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
You're not going to like it, or I've got something. It could go one way or the other. I remember getting many text messages from him when he would guest on Pop Punk and Pizza. And he's definitely one of those people I love talking to. He's a fun guy.
Yeah. So I mean, he called me up and was like, "Hey, so I know you're playing MS Sucks, but instead, do you want to play House of Blues? It's sold out already. All you got to do is just show up and play." I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna
like,
do
nope,
that."
Sorry, I really wanted to play MS Sucks, and
we really wanted to reimagine all our songs acoustically for this, but no. So we played that one, and it was awesome, and because it was sold out, we just like none of our friends could get tickets. We had a very small guest list, so I'm like, it's just like our partners and like one or two of our parents. So Ty and Robin's mom was on our guest list, so she got to hang out and like watch. And we played Heroes. We put out Heroes that week, just so we had something to push at the show. We just put out the song, so then people that just found out about us at that show could go to our Spotify and see that song.
Perfect promotion right there.
Yeah, and it was the first song that like Ty's singing on, and our new drummer Brennan is drumming on. So
yeah,
so it's a cool way to kind of officially kick off this era of Guardrail. Even though you took the words right out of my mouth. Ty and Brennan they've been in the band technically for about Ty's been since this last summer, but Brennan officially since like he played a few shows with us last year, but it was like we kind of officially announced it around Christmas time last year. So. So it was kind of
congrats. Congrats on the new song. Heroes is great. Everyone should check it out when you get the chance. Yeah.
We have 2 music videos for it. One is just a regular music video. The other one, we had this idea and then we just got too many submissions to make just one. So we just made a completely separate video. It's just all of our friends. There's like 35 different bands worth of people just singing.
I thought that was a genius idea because I did stumble across the fan version of the Heroes music video, and I was like, "Hey, I know that guy. It's all because the song is essentially about. It's not just about like a friend passing away. It's about like a friend passing away who was a musician, and you get to still listen to their songs even though they're gone. So I can still listen to Drew's songs, and I get like Reject My Reality is still on Bandcamp. You can go to Bandcamp and check them out, and they have like an EP up there. And stuff like that. So it's like cool that we still get to hear their voices even though they're gone. It is so special that we still have those recordings. Yeah. And we can still, when we miss them, we can go back and we can listen to it.
Exactly.
Drew wrote some great Christmas songs.
Yeah.
So I do find myself, we're having this conversation right around the Christmas holiday. So I always think of, Merry Christmas, You Suck. I always think of that song, and I remember him telling me he got that from David Letterman. Apparently he was watching an episode of Late Night with David Letterman one time, and David Letterman had this Christmas tree, and there was like a person inside the Christmas tree, and someone would kick the Christmas tree or something and say, "Merry Christmas, you suck," or something like that. And so it gave him the idea for that song. It was something along those lines. Don't quote me exactly, but I do remember Drew telling me it had something to do with David Letterman inspired that
so
song.
Funny.
So
yeah. So we had the idea we were gonna intertwine those, like have it be like shots of us playing the song mixed with shots of our friends, but we got so many that we're just like, we're gonna barely be in the music video if we want to include everybody. So I just was like, as many of our musician friends that are just currently in bands that we've played with over the last however many years. And we had like,
that's so cool.
35, I think, different bands send us stuff. And that was just like, a lot of people said they were gonna and just like didn't, because, you know, we're all very reliable people. Uh, but yeah, it turned out great. I edited the entire one of all of our friends. So
Well, you did a great job.
please watch it. Make sure my hard work didn't go to nothing.
Your Emmy award-winning version of that Heroes
For your
music
Grammy
video.
consideration.
Yeah. So before we close out, I wanted to make sure that we talked about Snuzfest. If people happen to be listening to this before the annual Snuzfest, so Snuzfest is an annual show that Guardrail has been putting together. In 2026, it's 16 years, which I am completely blown away
No,
that
it's
it's
just
been
10
that
years.
long. Or 10 years. What did I say?
You said 16.
16, excuse me, 10. I don't know. I guess
That
I was
would be
thinking
wild if it was
16. Yeah, no. 10 years. I don't know where the hell. I guess I was thinking 2016. That must have been what I was thinking of.
Probably.
But anyway, so yeah, it's been 10 years, coming up in 2026. I did see that you announced a Milwaukee show, which I think you've done one for Snuzfest. No, this will be the first Milwaukee edition.
Yeah, so basically, we haven't officially announced the Chicago one yet. I think we might be officially announcing that right after the new year. But it is set for February 21st at Beat Kitchen. It's been at Beat Kitchen since the pandemic.
Yeah,
Basically.
It's been a while. It's bounced around. It's mostly been a Beat Kitchen, though. I guess.
Yeah. The first 2 years were at Wire, but that place is no longer a thing. Unfortunately,
people remember in Berwyn.
Yeah, the 2 years after that was at Shuba's.
Shuba's was great.
We only really had it there. That's not really a venue for like punk shows. They never really have punk shows. But our old guitarist Mike used to work there, so that was why we had it there.
Yeah, I think it's a cool venue, but yeah, it's mostly like obscure, like indie bands and folk.
Yeah,
like
or
music.
like the only punk stuff that they would typically have there is like those kind of DIY, garagey, grungy, like almost like indie punk bands.
Yes. Yep.
So like, like Scarlet D'Amour, that band rules, but they fit that vibe. They're very like grungy DIY, like they played Lollapalooza and it absolutely made sense. Like,
yes, yeah, not like skate punk or pop punk or anything like that. You usually don't think of Shuba's.
Yeah, like Unwritten Law is not coming through Shuba's, But I did see Unwritten Law, weirdly enough, at Lincoln Hall, which I thought was wild.
That is interesting.
Back in like 2016. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, we started it in 2017, so that was the first year of it. So 2016 will be the 10th year that we're doing it. And I'm including the pandemic year, even though we just did like a virtual one because
it's included because you still did it. You just did it virtually.
Yeah, we did two of them. We did one that was just like random people, and then we did like, it would have been the 5-year anniversary. So I just reached out to everyone who had played the first 4 years of it, and like Drew Neely did one. They all just sent me videos, and I kind of compiled them all.
Yep, I remember that.
So Drew did a few songs, and it was really funny. And like when it was airing, we did like the premiere, so it like premiered live, and like you still go back to our YouTube and watch it.
Yeah,
it's like a 2.5 hour long thing, so it's basically like a show. And in the YouTube like live chat, I remember Drew Neely going like, "Does anyone have a bass cab I can borrow?" I was dying. I was
like, to fill that live experience.
I feel like we're loaded virtually right now.
Oh man!
But yeah. So last year, Chris from Something to Do, rad band from Milwaukee.
Yeah, those guys are great.
He reached out to me last year and was like, "Hey, I would love to do a Snuzfest in Milwaukee. I think that'd be sweet if we like brought that up there and did it there, and we can like kind of play each other's." And I was like, "That'd be sweet." And this was like before last year's Snooze, so it was technically like fall of 2024 was when we had this conversation. And I was like, sweet, yeah, let's do one maybe like over the summer or something like that. We could do Snuzfest in Milwaukee because it'll be like, kind of 6 months apart or whatever. So I was like, so in the meantime, like we still need another band or two for the one in Chicago. You want to do this one? He's like, totally. So they did Snuzfest last year in Chicago. And then things kind of kept getting pushed back for the Milwaukee one. It ended up it's in January, so it got pushed back like 6 months. So I'm like,
That's
well,
okay.
it's like pretty close too. I'm like, well, it's far enough away. Like
It's far enough away,
and
the cities are far enough away too.
Yeah,
it's going to be
exactly.
a different crowd.
So it's that one is set for. They kind of just put the bill together themselves. It's not as big of a bill. It's a 5-band bill, whereas Snuzfest here in Chicago is 8. But it's something to do doing that one. They're going to do the Chicago one again this year too. So that I can at least say. So they put the bill together, and the bill for the Milwaukee one. I think I mentioned this. It's January 31st.
Yes, January 31st.
It's something to do. I voted for Kodos, us, Gold Steps, and a band called Lefty Lucy, who I don't know, but like I love that name because it's Lucy like Lucifer.
Yeah, I noticed the spelling. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I see.
And Gold Steps played Snuzfest a couple years ago, so that's cool. Like they're
a great band too.
We've done a weekender
I
with
know
them,
Something to Do. I know Gold Steps. Both of them have been around quite a while.
I voted for Kodos. Cool, small world, full circle moment for me personally is the first like real big rock show that I went to was Warped Tour in 2006, and I voted for Kodos. Was a ska band way back then, from Milwaukee that played the Kevin Says stage at the Chicago Data Warped Tour.
Oh no
and I
way!
knew them from like MySpace and stuff like that, so I like saw them play. I was like right on the barricade for them because there was like I don't know maybe 40 people watching them, and then I met them. They were the first band I like met. So they're like celebrities to me, but they were just like this local band from Milwaukee.
Right.
But
when you're going to your first Warped Tour, everyone is a celebrity.
Exactly. I was like,
and for some reason their name doesn't stick out to me, even though they've been around that long. I don't really remember.
Well, they weren't around much longer after that, and they split up. And then like within the last year or so, they started playing shows in Milwaukee again. And Chris from Something to Do was in I Voted for Kodos, and I had no idea. And I was like, "You were in I Voted for Kodos? What?"
Okay.
I was like, "I love like it's
now that
crazy,
makes sense.
Crazy full circle thing for me that now we're playing a show with them.
Yeah,
all these years later.
Yeah.
And their singer Rick, like just organically was a fan of Guardrail, and I was like, "No, I'm a fan of you. You're not a fan of me." So. He's in our
Full
Heroes
circle
video.
moment.
He's the one wearing a maroon Keep Flying shirt, and his kids are in one of the shots and stuff like that. And he was just like, I'm going to jump up on stage and sing that with you. And then he was like, do you want to sing a song with us? I'm like, dude, 16-year-old Kev would be stoked. Absolutely. So it's just really cool. It's really cool for me. It's probably not cool for anyone else, but for me, I'm like, oh, this is like super cool that like, if I could just like tell 16-year-old Kevin, like, hey, this band that you're like, super stoked on that you're watching right now at Warped Tour, like really looking up to, and you're gonna like play a show with them, and they're gonna invite you to sing a song with them. Like that's just cool. And they're such a cool band. They were almost doing like what Keep Flying is doing now back then, where it was like their first record and EP was like very ska, but then their second album was very like it was almost like ska emo in a way, like. Almost like power pop with a horn section. And
that's kind of what Keep Flying is if you've never listened. Yeah,
exactly. So I was like, man, they were ahead of their time. So
yeah, kind of like I've always called Keep Flying like a modern day version of Less Than Jake, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I'm stoked on that. It's going to be cool. The proceeds for that one are going to benefit some, I forget which, it kept changing, so I can't remember which one they landed on, but it's going to benefit a nonprofit out in Milwaukee.
Awesome.
Keeping that trend alive. And then, it's Snuzfest Chicago.
Who will that benefit then?
That's going to go to the Hope For Us Network again. We've been doing them for, I think, since we
pandemic,
came back
maybe?
from the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're friends of ours. Christina's a friend of mine who works with them. It's basically people that used to work for Hope for the Day that there's a bit of some scandal with them back in the day, so a bunch of them split off and were like, let's do our own thing that's not associated with this scandal. So that's them. So they're still
Yeah, and
doing
that's
stuff,
and that's perfect, organization based on, mental health and suicide prevention and all of that.
Mhm.
And that's great for this time of year because obviously people are usually feeling it heavier in the winter months than they are in the warmer months.
Yeah.
So it's really a perfect time to benefit an organization like that.
Yeah. I mean, shit, I've been feeling it. This year is like kind of sucked. There's been some great moments, like, my wedding and like the cool shows we've played and stuff like that. But like between just like, me dealing with like my job situation, I like lost my job last year. And for the last like year and a half, I've been just like trying to find a full-time gig. Like I just got a bunch
That's
of
tough.
part-time gigs now. And like, at the end of January this year, my dog Gnarly like broke her back and like needed emergency surgery, and
My God.
she's still like paralyzed in her back legs. So she's a little roller dog now, but she survived the surgery and everything. And like, if anyone listening to this that like helped out with that, we were like literally we had to take her to a surgeon in Indiana because it was a third of the price out there to do, but it was still like thousands of dollars to like basically. She came down with IVDD, which is, I don't remember what exactly it stands for, but it's something with their discs in their spine. These long dogs. I have 2 wiener dogs. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm a huge wiener guy, in so many different ways. No,
I was going to say there's so many things I want to say right now, but I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
Oh goddamn, choking on my wiener.
On your wiener?
But these long dogs, they're prone to this disorder where like their discs in their spine are more prone to being like ruptured, and she ruptured 2 discs in her spine. Like, it kind of happened out of nowhere. Like that morning I left for work, she was fine playing around with the other dog and it was great, and by 9 p.m. that night she couldn't walk, and we had to take her to a surgeon. They got the surgery. There's like a 1 in 10 chance that she wouldn't have even made it through the surgery, because the surgery is basically to stop the damage from spreading through her spinal cord.
Yeah.
Because basically the reason she can't walk anymore is because of that damage. The brain signals can't get to her legs.
They're not going
anymore
to the proper places.
So she's been in physical therapy ever since, and given her acupuncture and stuff. And like her legs do things every now and then, but not enough to walk. But when we were on our way to the Indiana like surgeon, I just put up a GoFundMe. I was like, I've never done this. I'm not one to ask for help like this, but I'm like, she's like my daughter, So I was like, some people I think might be, sympathetic to the issue, and throw us a couple bucks and whatever. A lot of our friends all love Gnarly. Like she's a crazy dog, but she's like,
who doesn't love a wiener dog though?
Exactly.
I mean, everyone loves your wiener.
Exactly. And people donated like almost $5,000 to that thing. It was crazy. So like, it paid for her wheelchair. It paid for her. Luckily, also shout out to my parents. They just like paid for the surgery. They're just like, she's basically our granddaughter. Like, we will help. And she's their grand wiener. And so it paid for a lot of her physical therapy and and everything that we needed. She has to wear diapers now because she's not incontinent, but she'll get stoked and be like bouncing around, and she'll bounce a little pee out of her, But
it happens to my wiener sometimes too.
Oh no!
Sorry, I'm trying not to, be immature about this, but
how can you not? How can you not? Yeah. So I mean, anyone who donated to that, like, I can't say thank you enough, because and a lot of it was people just like from our music scene that just. Some people gave us like $100 or $200, and other people gave us like $10. It was just like what they could, and it was just like the gesture in itself was just like insane. We felt so loved. I was like talking about it at my wedding, and I started to cry in front of people. I was like, I can't, and I just gave the microphone to Larissa. I'm like, you talk now, because it meant a lot. We felt so loved, and like kind of just like it was just like, it was overwhelming. Every time I opened up GoFundMe, I'd see, it went up by $400, and I would just be like, oh god, our friends love our dog. So
I love your wiener.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. So shout out to the wiener love, all the wiener love that we got.
Uh,
Gnarly is still like she still can't walk anymore, but she kind of just like drags her back end around like a seal, and she's happy and healthy. She don't give a fuck that half
well,
her body doesn't work. She's still it doesn't phase her. She's just like, well, this is me now. Which I wish I had that type of resilience.
me too. I need to work on that. I try to work on that every day. It's hard.
Yeah,
It
honestly,
is so hard.
I'm just like, man, I see her just going like, she still like antagonizes the other wiener and just is like fucking chasing after her and growling and like
The
picking
wiener
fights with her.
chaser.
Yeah, dude, we got wiener battles all over this house. It's crazy. So she's still happy and healthy. Like otherwise, she's great. So crazy. So, but it's like, yeah, between that and just like, just all kinds of stuff,
Yeah,
and my just family stuff and like family members dealing with stuff, and it's been a rough year for a lot of people, and then not to mention just
I hear
everything
you.
with the government. Oh, just the
Yeah,
state of things in the world is just like, oh my god. So
it's
there's a
been a
lot
rough
to
year.
so
Yeah, I
there's a
hear
lot
you.
to get down about. So
Always, you always got to
yeah.
look for the lights, no matter what. And that's
Hmm.
what I always try to remind myself and try to remind others is just look for the light to get through the dark. And, you know, whether you feel like it at the time, we are at the end of the day all in this together.
Hmm.
Whether it feels like that or not,
Yeah.
we really are. So,
What I've been saying when we do play our "You're Fired" song, um, like it is a you know anti-Trump song in a way, but it's more um, like, hey, we're gonna get through this kind of song.
yes,
So during the little quiet bridge part, when it's kind of building up to like the ending sort of jam out part, I've been saying to the crowd like, look to your left, look to your right. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We got to look after each other. We're all here for each other. We all got to love each other, all that kind of thing. And at the Lucky Boys show, Tyler and I were kind of just like wandering the venue, just scoping things out, and it was cool like seeing little kids because a lot of families were at this show, and like this one kid came up, his
well,
mom was
those
like, "Can you get a?"
LBC fans are, we're all getting
I
up
know,
there
I know. They're all our age and even
and
older. So
older.
like they all
Yeah.
they're bringing their kids now. So there's like, this one mom came up to me and Tyler and was just like, "Can my son take a picture with you?" And I was like, "Sure." And this kid was so shy, and I like asked him what his
Oh.
name was, and I couldn't even hear him. He was just kind of like, "Man," and I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you, man." Took a photo, but a guy walked up to us and was like, "Hey, what you said about us all looking after each other and like we're all human beings," he's like, that just like hit me in a way where I felt like so like a weight was lifted off my shoulders of like, yes, that's what we have to the mindset we all have to be in.
Absolutely.
We'll all get through this nonsense that's happening, and as long as we all keep looking after each other, we'll be okay in the end. So
I agree.
you know
It all starts, like literally at home,
hmm
like looking after your family, your friends, your neighbors. Like that's really where it all starts. So, like, if you're doing that, that's at the end of the day, that's what matters.
hmm
That's what really matters. You're making a difference, even if it doesn't feel like it at the
hmm
time. So,
100%. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think this is a great way to close out the
Mhm.
conversation, man. It's been so much fun catching up with you. If people want to find out more about Guardrail, listen to Guardrail, where do they go?
We're on all the streaming, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that. We're on like Instagram and everything. It's at Guardrail Sucks on everything. Like, I mean, except for Facebook, but who cares about Facebook? Come see our shows. We got Snuzfest coming up. We're at this point also trying to book more shows for next year. Was talking with some other bands, like I was talking with Keep Flying the other day. We might do some shows together, maybe over the summer and stuff. So come see us play and go watch the music videos that we put out for Heroes, and those are on our YouTube. And I'm also in another band now called Gold Weight. It's a bit of a Chicago supergroup. It's me on bass and backup vocals, Alex Crook from Bad Planning, who also fills in for Guardrail a lot when Ken's on baby duty. He's singing, lead singer on guitar. It's kind of his little project that he put together. So he's from Bad Planning. Lawrence, who plays bass in Bad Planning, but he plays keys and does backups in this band. And then Chris McGrath from Much the Same on guitar. And then Chris, I never remember how to say his last name, but we call him Pags. He's the drummer of Hot Alice.
Okay.
The five of us.
That is a super group.
We only play shows every now and then because it is crazy the age gap between the youngest member, which is Alex, and the oldest member, which is Chris McGrath.
One of the Chris's, probably.
Is 21 years.
Yeah.
So Chris told Alex, he's like, dude, the day you were born, I was 21. I could have taken your dad out for a beer. That's crazy. And I always joke, too, that the same exact age gap is between me and Chris's son, TJ. So I was like, and he's a drummer. He's 15, and I'm 36. So I was like, dude, in about 10 years, I think me and your son are going to start a band. Like,
yeah.
I'll be the old guy in the band for once. I'm smack dab in the middle of them. I'm like, Alex is 10 years younger than me, and Chris is 11 years older than me. So it's kind of funny, but we've only played a couple shows. It's kind of an every now and then thing. We got I don't know when this is going to come out, but we're playing a free house show I believe the Sunday, whatever the 28th is, after Christmas. So it's in Logan Square. Just find that. It's Instagram at goldweight.band. We have an EP out. It's just 4 songs. We got some other songs that we have written that we haven't recorded yet. We'll probably get around to that sometime next year. And then I believe we're playing another show in January that's not announced yet. So just keep an eye out for that.
Sweet. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And then we're just kind of, otherwise, I do like DJ sets called Diet Punk Takeover at Burlington. It's typically the first Saturday of the month. There's like bands playing in the back room. And then I DJ up front all night. And if you're a band that wants to play it, please hit me up and play it and draw people. These local bands have been killing me. They've been so nice, but it's like so many bands like saying yes and then dropping last minute, and then saying yes.
It never gets old. It doesn't matter. It's just like an age-old thing.
I know.
It doesn't matter. They're always dropping. It's just like the local band thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Or like, oh man, a band who is like, yeah, they do pretty well, and then they don't promote, and then they draw nobody. And I'm like, oh my god, how is this even fun for you? You're playing to nobody.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But
oh my gosh, I don't miss being on that end of the spectrum of being the booker or the promoter or anything like that.
I know it's rough, but what can you do? But still, come out. It's free to come hang out with me in the front room and drink and just listen to the music I'm playing. So just even if you can't afford to go to the show, just come hang out and have a beer with me. Yeah. The next one will be January 3rd, and then after that will be February 7th. So yeah, just the first Saturday of the month, hit me up. I mean, there's so many other things I could just plug, but those are the most important ones. So
awesome. Well, thank you, Kevin, and Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah,
and Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Give your kiddo our love from the Guardrail family to yours, and yeah, we'll hopefully it's not another 3 years and a podcast before we actually
hopefully not. But this has been great, and of course I want to thank James Van Osdol for asking me to guest host Carcon Carne. This has been a lot of fun.
Love James. I think this will be my 3rd appearance on the show. We were on over the pandemic, like virtually.
Yes.
And I famously made a Jack and Coke in my mouth. I poured whiskey into my mouth and then Coke into my mouth and just swished it around.
That sounds so COVID. That sounds so pandemic. Like that's what everyone was doing at home. They're like, I don't want to ruin a glass or get a plastic cup. I'm just going to make it in my mouth.
I had it. What could you do? And then we were on there a couple years ago. It was me, Ken, and Alyssa just crammed in his backseat of his car, and we were eating burrito tacos, and it was wonderful. So,
oh man, I can smell that. I can just picture the smell in my mind. That sounds so good right now.
On this Carcon Carne, I made coffee from Target.
There you go.
That was my breakfast.
I've just got regular coffee here. So
it was like banana split flavored coffee grounds.
That sounds kind of gross, not to be to be completely honest with
I will
you.
try anything banana once because I love banana stuff.
Well, we just talked about how much you love wieners, so it doesn't really shock me
there's a
how much
trend
you love
here.
bananas.
Yeah, I just love anything phallic. But but no, but I saw these coffee grounds at Target. I'm like, fuck it, I'll try them, and it's actually not bad. There's like a hint of a banana. It's almost like banana bread, almost like
Okay,
hint
yeah.
to it,
Oh, that might not
with a
be
little
so
bit of
bad.
vanilla to it too. So I'm like,
Okay,
it
yeah,
works. So
that might
that
not be so
that was my
bad.
breakfast for car con carne.
Okay, I love it.
Also, you mentioned the advertiser, Exploding House
Yeah,
printing. We've used
yeah.
them before. We got our beanies from them,
Oh,
and they're
that's
the most
awesome.
comfortable beanies. I'm wearing a Ghoul for a Goblin one that they recommended that because it's such a comfy beanie. So
How
bands,
perfect.
get your beanies from them.
You can see it's working.
Yeah, I'm wearing this in my
Awesome.
own house. It's
Yeah.
so
Thank
nice and
you.
comfy.
Yeah. Thank you, Exploding House, for sponsoring this episode and Car Con Carne and in general. So
Yes,
we really appreciate that.
and all the love from Guardrail to JVO too. We hope
Yes.
you're dealing with everything and getting through everything. I know life's rough. I got family members dealing with health shit and stuff, and it's not fun. But yeah, get
Yep.
all the love and positive vibes your way,
Yes.
dude.
Absolutely. JVO is a Chicago treasure,
Hmm.
and I'm so happy that he is. It sounds, from what I've heard and read and talked to him a little bit, it sounds like he's getting there. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, JVO, just know I'm always here, man, to back you up. So whatever you need, I got your back.
Hmm.
So, all right,
1,000%.
man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, love you, buddy.
Love you too.